welcome to the Unfiltered Flare. I'm Holly.
I'm Ray.
And we just want to have a little chat to you today about chronic illness and our diagnoses.
Yeah, it's been part of my life.
Yeah. So I am a type 1 diabetic and have been for 21 years now. And then I also have fibromyalgia. So it's a lot of fun over here.
I was recently diagnosed with reactive hypoglycaemia after a stomach ulcer that burst. So, yeah, just getting used to it and everything's a bit new, learning how to eat differently.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And I feel like with you, like when we were first talking, when you said like you had reactive hypoglycemia, I was like, oh, that's got to be so similar to diabetes. Like, and
Yeah.
then the more we spoke, you were like, no, actually, it's totally different. Like, because in a like certain way, I can eat what I want up to like a certain amount, you know, and as much insulin as I want to give for something, whereas you are just kind of have to eat whatever won't spike you, basically, don't you?
I basically say it's an allergy to sugar because
Yeah.
with me it's an overproduction of insulin. So I can't
Yeah.
there are drugs to bring it down, but they're
Yeah.
really bad for your stomach. And
Okay.
with my ulcer, my stomach's really sensitive.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they're not tested that well. So it's kind of just food based, just no
Yeah.
sugar, no carbs, nothing
Yeah.
really.
So do you
But
get any like pain then with like, so if your stomach flares up, like especially with previously having an ulcer, do you get like any pain?
yeah, I mean, I'm
Like,
very prone to stomach aches and feeling sick.
yeah.
I mean, that's just I don't have the ulcer anymore. It's
Yeah.
gone. And they don't really know the cause of it. I didn't have H. pylori and I didn't have cancer. So
So it's
they didn't
just,
know. Yeah. So
yeah.
I don't know if I can get another one or not.
Yeah.
Which is scary, but it's okay.
So
But
that
it
must have
almost
been scary, like even, so was the word cancer thrown out to you at all then?
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
I was sick.
wow.
So I was in Cyprus and I was in my hospital bed, and I was sitting with my dad. And my mum went back to the hotel because she hadn't left my side in like 4 days. And I remember the nurse coming in and saying, "Oh, your biopsy has just been taken." When they did the endoscopy, they took like 2 biopsies,
Yeah.
and they did one for H. pylori, which came back negative, and then they did one for cancer. And she comes in, and I didn't know they did it. And she
Yeah,
comes in,
that's
and she's like,
scary.
"Oh, your cancer biopsy's been taken and it's been sent off and we won't know for like a month." And I'm like, sorry, what do you mean?
That is terrifying.
It is, it was very scary, but it was like a year and a half ago now, and it's
Yeah.
still, I still get nightmares about it.
Yeah,
It's
I can
weird.
imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been ill. I've always been like very
Quite
healthy
healthy
and
and
yeah,
yeah.
nothing wrong. You know when you go to the doctor and you've got like a cold and you think, oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm dying.
Yeah, yeah.
Never anything like that. But no, and I've realised how different it is to diabetes, especially just us talking and you
Yeah.
saying about your insulin.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So do you
And I
wear an
think,
insulin pump?
like, sorry, say that again.
Do you wear an insulin pump or
Yeah,
do
so
you
I've
do
got, that's what I was sorting
injections?
just then. So I've got my, take it off, I've got my insulin pump here.
Yeah.
So this I've only had for about a month now. So I was doing injections before. And
I bet
in a
that
way,
makes a
this is such a
difference.
nice break because
Yeah.
obviously for like 20 years I was doing 5, 6, however many injections I might need a day, whereas this I change. So most people change every 3 days. I change mine every 2 because I'm on a higher amount of insulin. So it is a bit of a godsend. I have found though since going on it, I've got quite a lot of like diabetes burnout.
It's
And
harder.
yeah, it's not necessarily that it's harder. It's actually like easier. But so I've had to do a couple pump changes where like for whatever reason it wasn't working, it wasn't going into my system, and then that's caused me to like rocket up to like numbers of like 20, which is like quite uncomfortable. And then on the pump you're more prone to something called ketones, which
Yeah.
is really really bad for a diabetic. Essentially, like if you get ketones your body can start sort of shutting down. I think my doctor explained it to me once as it kind of turns your blood into acid, and that's when sorry, what it's literally beeping at me right now as well. um
I think we'll have to have breaks. I mean, oh, sorry, we're going a bit low or high.
yeah, literally, like I said to you just like before we started, I'm literally drinking a sugary coffee right now to
Yeah.
keep me up because it's this heat, it's just nuts. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So does
so
that make you go low?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I've usually got to adjust my insulin when it's this hot, just because I'm constantly going low. Like I can even just be sat there doing nothing and I'll constantly just be dropping.
Yeah.
Um and I think like that's the one thing about diabetes, like people don't realize how much goes into it. Like a lot of people will sort of say like, oh, so you just can't have sugar, and you're
Yeah.
like, if only it was that simple.
Yeah, you've got all these other worries that you have to do, and
Yeah,
especially with your little girl.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like diabetic pregnancy is just like, I think we'll do an episode where we get into like that a bit more, because
Yeah.
diabetic pregnancy on its own is just like a massive whirlwind. And then it's not just the pregnancy, like you're given this new life to look after, which is the most amazing thing in the world. But at the same time, it's like there's situations where she needs me, but I'm having a hypo, so I don't feel comfortable picking her up.
Yeah.
You probably heard my alarm then. This is just perfect. So like it does get really tough, and like when you're trying to have days out with the little one, especially when it's hot like this, and it restricts you from doing so much.
Yeah.
And then with the fibro as well, like I get days where I'm just so like burnt out, exhausted, just want to stay in bed, like in so
Yeah.
much pain, but you've still got to be a mummy. It's crazy. Chronic illness and having kids is just absolutely, like you've got to be such a strong person to deal with it.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah. I mean, my mum, I actually spoke with her last night. She has colitis.
okay, yeah.
And it was really hard, I think, with me. I mean, she's had it for a long time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it. I saw when I was younger. I mean, thankfully, like touch wood, she hasn't had a big flare up in a long
Yeah.
time.
Oh, that's good.
And she's very healthy now, touch wood.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I can understand that, and
Yeah.
it's really hard. I mean, that's also what they thought I had
Oh,
with the
really?
ulcer
Okay. So can that
because
be
of.
hereditary, do you know?
Yeah, I
Or oh, it
think so.
can.
I'm
Okay.
not completely sure,
Yeah.
but
No, I'm not 100%
yeah,
sure. I have to have a
no,
look at
I don't
that.
know. I don't know if chronic illness is diabetes hereditary.
So I remember like one of my biggest fears about having a baby was, would I pass on my diabetes to her? And obviously it can happen, but I think they were saying, so if the mum has diabetes, it's something like a 3% chance of passing it on. Is quite low. It's more
Okay.
likely for the dad to pass it on. So if my partner had type 1, she
Yeah.
would be more likely to get it through him. But there is a bit of diabetes in my family, so I've got 3 cousins with it as well,
Mm.
with type 1. So I think it can be hereditary, but I've got no one directly, like, my mum, my nan, my dad, none of them had it.
Yeah.
So I really hope she doesn't get it. Like, on one hand, obviously she'd have a good teacher, like, I go through it
Yeah.
myself, so
To be in safe hands.
yeah. But on the other hand, like, what I go through every day, I wouldn't want to put on another person. So it would be massively hard if she did end up with it. So hopefully not, but we just kind of have to see it where it goes. They don't sort of test for it routinely. They tested her blood sugars a lot when I first had her, just to see if, because she was basically, because she was in a diabetic body, her sugars, they might have been higher when she came out, and then she
Yeah.
could have had quite a big drop. So I think they tested her for like 24 hours just to make sure she didn't have a hypo, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just nuts. But I think one thing, like, we're both quite keen to talk about, and I've actually experienced this fairly recently with my fiance, is like medical gaslighting. So I think you've
Oh,
experienced it quite a lot. I've
yeah.
definitely experienced, as I said, my partner is just going through a crazy time with it at the moment. And I think it affects chronically ill people massively. And to feel like we are made out to be liars, made out to be egging on our symptoms,
We just ignored half the time.
just, yeah, completely ignored. Or it's almost like they say, we'll put a pin in this and come back to it. And like I feel
Yeah,
like at
while
the
it's
moment,
ruining your life.
yeah, and I feel
Yeah.
like at the moment, like I've had other issues along with my chronic illness, but I feel like I can't go to the doctors about those other issues at the moment because it will all just come back round to, oh, that's a symptom of fibromyalgia, that's to do with your diabetes. And it's like, I am still a human who has other complaints, if you know what I mean. And I
Yeah,
think that's
and
quite
they're
a
there to
regular
help you,
thing.
but they
Yeah.
don't. Well, sometimes, but
I mean, sometimes, yeah. And I'm not
yeah,
one to like want to like drag on the NHS either because I think
no,
overall we're really lucky. They're really amazing.
yeah.
Um,
I
but
mean, they
it's
are great. They're
they
very
are,
good when
yeah,
you're not well, like
yeah,
very not well, like dying.
exactly. I
But
think in
when,
extreme circumstances they work their ass off, don't they? But
yeah,
then
yeah, they are.
when
They
you're trying
do.
to get a diagnosis, it just seems like
Yeah,
it's like banging your head against the wall. Honestly,
yeah. I mean, when I came in, so I came home from Cyprus and I was ill again the week after, and because that had happened, like it was a very serious thing. Like they thought
yeah,
I was going to die. It wasn't good.
yeah,
So when we came back and they'd like cauterized my stomach or clipped my stomach or something, um, we came back and I was back in hospital in Broomfield, so in Chelmsford,
yeah.
Essex. And they were really good. They got me seen so fast in
Oh,
A&E.
really?
But they said an ambulance would have taken like 6 hours to come.
Wow.
So my parents like literally dragged me in the car,
Yeah,
and because I couldn't really walk at that point, I
yeah.
didn't really know what was wrong because my stomach was better, and actually they found out it was just gastritis.
Okay.
But everyone was so worried. But they
Yeah.
were really good. They were so good, and they got me a bed within a few hours and a private
Okay, that's
room. And then
amazing.
in the ward.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can't fault them on that.
No, like they are amazing, and I think the fact that we have access to GPs, and there is a lot of
Yeah,
complaints about them, especially like trying to get an appointment, and it is so hard, and I really do understand people's frustrations, but they're just under pressure,
yeah,
underpaid, understaffed. But then I mean, it is the higher ups that like I sometimes feel cause a bit of a problem. So my partner 2 years ago now had like really bad stomach problems, went
mm,
in. So when he first went into A&E, I mean, this man was he literally was screaming in pain. I've never seen him like it. He's crying. When you're in that much pain, you physically just can't sit still, can't
yeah.
like focus on anything. So we called an ambulance, um, and we actually waited most of the night. It never turned up, to the point where I called them back and said, like, look, um, so Tom's the only driver in our house, so he obviously couldn't drive in that state. So we ended up getting hold of his mum, who took us in. So we were there all of a few hours, and I don't know if he'd feel too comfortable with me saying this, but they basically said he was constipated, gave him some laxatives, sent him home, no testing whatsoever, like just go home. So then 24 hours later, we end up back in there again with the same issue. They obviously did blood tests and whatever, and they were like, "Oh, we think it's appendicitis. No, your appendix looks fine. We think it's your liver's fine. Blah blah blah." So eventually diagnosed it. So it's gallbladder issues. So which is quite obviously a common issue. Um, and then he was in hospital for a while because he was really sort of infected and really like he needed a lot of antibiotics and stuff. Then he got sent out and told to wait for an operation. So anyway, we go into this operation. It's meant to be, I think they're meant to be no longer than maybe 2 hours tops. They're pretty straightforward. Like it's keyhole, they go in, grab the gallbladder, pull it out, done, you're home the same day. So we get I was waiting at the hospital, so I get a phone call saying he came out, and this was 4 hours after the operation started. He's come out and he's come round really not quite right, and he was literally like thrashing about. He ripped his IV out, like he really wasn't in his right mind. Um, anyway, like I said, should have been a straightforward surgery. He ended up in hospital for I think 10 days after that. And the second day he was in there, the doctor actually, the surgeon who had performed the operation, came into his room when no one else was there typically and said, "I'm really sorry, I believe I did something wrong within your operation." And we're just like, what?
How can you get a routine procedure wrong?
How, yeah, like
Seriously,
how,
like
Yeah. So then since then, so they obviously ordered a few tests and couldn't really figure out what happened. So since then, so this was 2 years ago, he's been in constant pain. So I sort of say like my base level of pain daily is 4. Like I'm always at a 4 no matter what. So
Yeah,
he's kind of
that's like a
all
good day.
yeah, so he's always at a 4 and then he'll get flare ups where he's at like an 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
So this has been going on for 2 years, back and forth with the hospital. We'll order more tests, we'll do this, we'll do that. And it's just not really happened and we can't really get like an answer out of anyone. So he's had a couple of tests, but then there's no follow up to like, oh, we found this.
It's just
Um,
like that you just get lost.
you
It's
do,
like your
and
name
like,
actually gets lost.
and we only found like information from one of his tests by like going on the NHS app and like reading through his notes and
Yeah.
finding like, oh, they found you've got an extra duct on your pancreas. Okay, that could be causing repeat pancreatitis. Great, but why has no one like come to us
Yeah.
about this? Why have they not got a plan, if there even is a plan? I can't believe my
Yeah.
alarm is going off so much right now. So anyway, his doctor called the other day just to check in after another bout in the hospital, and she was like, oh, blah blah blah, you had a really straightforward operation and that. And then like, so I took the phone off of my partner. Then I was like, look, you're being a bit like, you're pussyfooting around it here. So I said to her, like, not nastily but quite sternly, like, how can you say you had a straightforward operation when you took 4 hours to do it and you apologized the next day? And she got all in like a fluff then and like, hold on, I'll look back at my notes. And she went, oh yeah, so I burst the cyst inside of you. Like, why are we only hearing about this now? It's nuts. And it's the fact he's been in this pain for over 2 years.
Yeah.
And no matter how many times he's gone back and forward to the GP, gone back and forward to the hospital, like, nothing's being done. And you just want to, like, why are you letting him live like this?
It's yeah. I don't know how you can get it wrong.
Like,
If you do it, if it's a routine procedure, you know, and
yeah.
it's just
Like,
stuck like that.
surely, like, yeah, okay, you could cut someone open and find something's different than it should be or whatever. Like, things are gonna happen, but if this is a procedure you do day in, day out, like,
I think the
what
point with the
what's going so wrong?
NHS is if you have a problem but it's not killing you, you're alright.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. You can sit
I,
with it.
yeah, I mean um after my ulcer,
Yeah,
I wasn't good. Like it took a long time to recover, but I was still really ill. I still couldn't like I don't know, just live. Like I come
yeah,
home and I'd sleep on the sofa because I couldn't deal with going out, walking, like sometimes
yeah,
couldn't even get out of bed. It was just painful when I was
yeah,
constantly I couldn't see. And you know when you have a hypo and you can't
yeah.
like you can't see in front of you, it's
Yeah.
really weird. And my brain wasn't and I was in the middle of doing my A levels.
Oh
So
wow.
it was just I mean, thank God I actually did it. I did it
Yeah.
without a
And you
diagnosis.
actually passed as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
well
I
done. That's
actually didn't
amazing.
know that I
Yeah.
had this condition until I started university. Like
Yeah.
just before I realised I wouldn't have been going to university. There's no way I would have been able to go
Yeah.
into London and come back home.
Exactly.
And there's no way I could have stayed away either. So it ruined my chances of staying away. So I'm still
Yeah.
at home, which I'm thankful for because I love my parents.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I met my boyfriend. So it
Oh,
was a good
that's
thing.
lovely. So there's good.
Um,
There's like silver linings there.
There is, and
Yeah.
everything happens for a reason. But I mean, it took about 4 months of just kept asking and asking until my
Yeah.
mum and dad took me private because luckily my grandma helped us.
Yeah.
Otherwise, would have been a bit screwed.
And that's what I mean. It's
Um,
not attainable for like a lot of people. Like going private is just not something people can afford to do these days.
I mean, if you don't have insurance in
Yeah.
private insurance, I mean, my procedure just in endoscopy cost
Yeah.
like 1,200. It
Exactly.
was ridiculous just
Yeah.
to have healthcare. And then I was referred to I was referred to an endocrinologist instead of a
Okay.
gastroenterologist. And
Yeah.
he actually did so many tests and had to get me on the NHS. So he got me through on the NHS, and I had a referral from January 2024 And about 2 months ago, I got a call saying that there was an appointment waiting for me.
Yeah.
So it took them a year and 3 months
Wow, to get you an
to
appointment.
just an appointment,
That
just
is
after
nuts.
everything that happened, just
And
for
like,
gastro.
so how dangerous can your condition be? So is it like, obviously if I have a hypo, like if it gets so low, like I'll pass out and
Yeah,
possibly
it
have
can
a
be.
seizure, and so is it
Yeah,
exactly the same in that way?
yeah, it is.
So the
I mean,
fact you
hypo's a
didn't,
hypo.
yeah,
It's, yeah, I think
yeah,
our symptoms with a hypo is pretty similar, but it's the
yeah,
way we deal with it. Like, I can't really, there's nothing that can really bring me up except
okay.
protein. Like, I
So
can't have
you just have
sugar.
to wait it out,
Yeah.
basically.
So I'll just
That's
kind of like
nuts.
sleep it off, and then I'll wake up.
Yeah.
Like, do you wake up really hungry? Like, you
Oh yeah.
just want to eat everything. I'll be really, feel really sick, and then I'll just be like, all right, give me food.
Get me
I need
food
food.
now.
Yeah.
Because I think like sitting with a hypo must be so scary, because I know the second I get hypo symptoms, I'm like, right, where's the sugar at?
Yeah.
Get it down me as soon as possible. Usually overcorrect and like end up sky high, but it's
Yeah.
just such a horrible feeling to
Yeah.
sit with, and like it just I literally say to my partner, like, I feel like I'm dying.
Yeah.
Like
If you
that's
don't
the
feel in
best way.
control,
Yeah.
it's like your brain stops working and you can't
Yeah.
really like think. I mean, I've had a few I tutor. So I've had a few when I tutor and I've had to say to them like, I'm sorry, I've got to have like a protein
Yeah.
bar. I'm like,
Really. Yeah.
it's going one ear one and out the other, and obviously I'm meant to be leading the lesson.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, I
And
can imagine.
yeah, I think, I don't know, I just don't think it's a main concern on the NHS.
Yeah, which it sounds like it really should be. Like,
It definitely should.
it's massively like, and like you text me, was it yesterday or a couple of days ago, saying you were having a flare up, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
it's so unfair. And I like, obviously I get massive flare ups myself, and I just hate other people having to deal with like that. It just
Yeah.
really gets to me that like other people feel the way
It's hard
I,
hearing it.
yeah,
Yeah, and I actually did want to mention with the medical gaslighting. So when I went on the back on the NHS with the doctor I saw privately, because you don't see like one doctor on the NHS, I
yeah,
saw one of his team. She
okay,
actually ended up, so I passed one of the tests, which means that you have like a glucose test, so it's just sugar.
okay,
And that's the one
yeah,
that I
yeah,
found. I went down to like 1.6 or something
wow,
stupid.
okay,
And then I had a mixed meal, so it's like you have protein, fiber, carbs, a bit of sugar, and I
yeah,
passed it. I just went down to like three something,
okay, yeah,
which isn't like proper hyper. It's like 3.6.
yeah. So like, because you
Um,
had the protein with that meal, it kind of
it kind
stopped
of
your
balanced it
sugars from
out.
dropping, as yeah,
Yeah. So that just proved that I can have a bit like a big chicken and a bit of
yeah,
chips with it,
yeah.
which
You
is
can
good.
enjoy it to a certain amount. Just
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, but not like chips on its own. But what I
yeah,
did want to say was when I went back and I saw another one of his team,
yeah.
she sat me down, and because one of the tests, the one that I failed, was done privately, she didn't read that in the notes. So she was reading
Wow.
it. She was like, "Okay, well, you don't have this condition. You have symptoms of it, but you don't actually have it." And then she started drawing a diagram. She was like, "So the brain and the body come together. So
Yeah,
actually what we need to look for you is getting some like help, maybe some medication to like sort it out because maybe it's in your mind." And I looked
yeah.
at and I was with my
Maybe
mum.
it's in your mind.
She talked
Why do
about
they
putting me
love
on
going into that?
medication. I looked at my
Wow.
mum and I was like, it
Like,
was honestly surreal.
the fact that, like, one, the fact that, like, doctors come in to talk to you and haven't read your notes or all of your notes is
Yeah, you don't
bonkers
know
all on
anything
its
about
own.
me.
Yeah, and then the fact, like, all in your mind, and this is the worst thing, and this is why people with chronic illness get so frustrated, because we get told things like, you're depressed, you're suffering
Yeah,
with anxiety. It's because you're not happy. Like, that is the doctor's, like, first go-to, like,
and
when it
it's
comes to any medical issue. It's
yeah.
crazy.
And it's scary how, because I have been on antidepressants before,
Yeah,
and personally, they didn't help me. They just like took
yeah,
away my personality.
yeah, which they
And
can do.
but they just put you on it so
I know.
like you
The
say you're
amount
depressed and
I've
like
been,
here's some pills.
yeah, the
It
amount I've
shouldn't
been
be like
offered.
that.
So so while I was pregnant, I took sertraline. That's purely because
But there's no shame in it.
no,
Like some
not at
people
all.
need it, but I
Yeah,
just like for kids,
yeah.
some of them need it, and then some
It's
of them need to talk to someone. Sorry,
exactly. It shouldn't be like the be all and end all answer.
yeah,
But so I took that while I was pregnant because I did suffer like really bad pregnancy anxiety. I think being a
yeah,
high risk pregnancy, being type 1 diabetic, like the fear just majorly got on top of me, and I avoided it for the first trimester, and then by the second I was like, I can't physically take these panic attacks anymore, like
yeah,
this worry. So I agreed to go on the sertraline, which to be fair, it did get me through the rest of the pregnancy. I'm not gonna lie, like it just helped me have less of the like scary thoughts.
yeah, yeah,
So
exactly.
now I take a antidepressant called, well, it's classed as an antidepressant, but it's called duloxetine. But the reason I take that is because it's said to help nerve pain. So I actually take it for my
Okay.
fibro rather than like my mental health.
Yeah.
um and like it's fine. So I actually ended up with withdrawal from it, so my doctor rushed me off it quite quickly to put me onto gabapentin, because
Mhm.
you get to a point where like the medication just isn't working as well. So she was like, all right, we're going to change it up a bit. So she swapped me from duloxetine to gabapentin. The withdrawal I went
You
through,
can't just take someone off of it.
oh my
It's
god, I was so like she took me off of that, and she took me off of codeine, and then she put me on to gabapentin and nefapam, I think it's called, which isn't an opiate, it's just a painkiller. I literally felt like I was dying for a week straight. The withdrawal I was getting, shakes, had the worst headache, I felt sick. It was
yeah,
honestly, as to the point where I went back to her and I said, I need to go back onto my previous meds because I cannot physically take feeling like this. Like, I have a baby to look after, and I can't get out of bed. This is nuts. So anyway, they put me back onto the duloxetine and the codeine, which isn't going to be a long-term fix, but I'd rather get by with that than try and
yeah.
switch up again and be as ill as I was.
And they need to like wean you off of it. Like I
Yeah.
had to like cut mine in half and then come
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
But
So
I
she,
do remember I was like I couldn't stop crying, and
yeah.
then yeah, feeling
It still
sick. And
affects you either way, doesn't it? Like, even
yeah,
if you wean off, like, you still do get some symptoms of withdrawal. But so she said to me,
yeah,
because duloxetine and gabapentin were like in the same sort of area of medicine, that I shouldn't get withdrawal. So then when I did go back, I saw a different doctor, and she was like, that is crazy that the doctor made you come straight off of duloxetine.
now that scares me that
Yeah, and I'm
someone
like,
doesn't
can
know
I
what they're
have that in
doing.
writing, please? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, can you officially say that? Because
It's insane.
you are admitting that the previous doctor was wrong here. Like,
Yeah,
that's a serious accusation to make. And they do say it so freely. Like, I had one doctor tell me that I could have had cancer, a bit like, kind of similar to your situation. They found a lump
yeah.
on my liver.
Oh my
Um,
god.
And I was in A&E at the time because I had gone in with stomach pains, and they did a CT, found this lump on my liver, and the doctor was like, oh yeah, well, your other tests are fine. But we have found this lump on your liver, so you need to come in for an MRI. I was like, okay, whatever. And then I made a joke of like a half-assed joke of like, oh, not cancer though, right? And she just looked at me like, well, I can't tell you it's not cancer. That's what we need to test for. So
Yeah.
I excuse my language, shit myself for 2 weeks waiting for another test.
And it takes so long, and you're just eating yourself up. Like it's
Yeah,
scary.
it is. And then after 2 weeks, I saw my GP and I said, look, I spoke to this doctor in A&E. She reckons like there's a possibility it could be cancer, blah, blah, blah. And my GP was like, you've probably just got like a lump of fat on your liver. Like, there's nothing at all that tells me this could be cancer. like I just had, so I had my baby is screaming in the background right now. I have to get her in a sec. So I just had like a 4-month-old, and this doctor is telling me I could have cancer. I was bricking it. Let me grab. We're gonna have a little guest star, I think. I'm just gonna. It's just nuts. It's like they say these things that scare you, and they just put you in such a position. And
Yeah.
but one thing I do want to cover on this podcast is just bringing a bit of light to like our chronic illnesses, because it's not all bad, and there are some funny sides to
No,
it.
it is quite funny when, like,
Yeah,
I don't know, when you're near to fainting. I mean, it's not funny, but
it's
it's
not funny,
just,
but you can. I think it's one of those things where at the time it's terrifying, and then you look back
yeah,
on it and you're like, oh, actually, like
yeah.
that
I
is
mean,
brilliant.
sometimes, like, when I'm coming out of it, and I mean, I get like a hangover. I think do you as well. Like,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
call it a hangover, like
massively.
for a week or something.
Yeah.
But when I'm coming out of it, like my sugar's just slowly going up. I almost feel like I'm drunk.
Yeah.
Like it's really weird, and
Absolutely. Yeah.
it's like I'm drunk, and then when I'm not like in danger of passing out, I can suddenly like have a bit of a laugh with it.
Yeah.
Because you got to laugh. You can't.
You've got to.
I
Like
mean,
my
I know.
partner, like as soon as I start acting a bit crazy, Tom's just like, Holly, have you checked your blood sugar lately? I'm like, no.
I get really bitchy.
Oh
Like
my god,
no one
I'm
wants to be around me.
vile.
Yeah,
I am disgusting when my bloods are low. Like I
yeah.
hate everyone. It's awful.
Like
I've had so many like near fallings out with like friends as well, where I've just said something really horrible and they're like, I remember one friend saying to me once, like, you're lucky I know you so well and know you're diabetic, because I would have knocked you out and never spoken to you again if like you weren't, like it was that bad.
yeah. I mean, my mum can be getting me something that I need, like some water or something, and I'll just
Yeah.
be like, she'll ask me if I need water. I'm like, yes,
Yes.
get
Get
me
it
water.
now.
Like it's so unfair on them, and that's why I feel so bad sometimes. I'm gonna put you down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is hard, but what can you do? I
I
mean,
know, and I think like all people with chronic illness are so strong because we do just learn, like we adapt so much and we just learn
yeah,
how to live with this awful like condition. And like there's some days where I look back and I'm like, or like I'll text my boyfriend at the time, my fiance, just throwing that out there. But I'll text him at the time like,
congratulations.
thank you. We're excited, aren't we? I'm like, that's the other thing. I'm like, okay, how many hypos am I gonna have at the wedding? Like, I'm literally gonna have
Yeah,
like my bridesmaids are gonna each have like a little can of Coke or something in their bag, like
yeah.
ready.
You like
Yeah.
a big like glucose? Do you take glucose tablets?
So, what'd you say?
Do you take the glucose tablets?
I do. So I have some, but they're awful, aren't they? Like I
Yeah,
do have some in my
it's
bag
like pure
always, but
sugar.
yeah, they're
Yeah,
just like chalk. It's like chewing chalk, and I just. Ugh. But so I've
yeah,
been buying like you can get these little like I think they're called Lift, and they're like little glucose like high sugar shots basically. So I've
yeah,
been buying them a lot recently, and they're quite handy because it's like 15 grams of sugar, so it just shoots your bloods up like straight away.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I'm really excited to do this podcast. Like
Me
I
too.
think we get along really well, and like you
Yeah,
know I really would love like I'd actually like when we put this on TikTok and when people listen and stuff, like for people to get involved and like tell us a funny anecdote about their condition, tell us their like
yeah,
diagnosis story, like share. I think sharing some of the funnier sides of chronic
yeah,
illness would be great. Like when has your chronic illness landed you in it? Do you know what I mean? Or when have
yeah,
you used it to get, because I used to use hypos to get out of like school all the time and stuff like that. So like when have you used it to your advantage? Because at the end of the day, like we've got to.
yeah. I mean, if you're gonna have this thing that kind of like really affects your life, I mean, yeah, you're gonna take a bit of the advantage.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'd rather not have it, but it's
If we
like when
have
you're on
to.
I mean, on the train, and I'm like having a hypo, because even when I'm not having a hypo, my health's not like great anyway.
Fantastic.
Like
Yeah.
it just suppresses you so much. And when
Yeah.
I'm on the train all the time going to uni, I have to sit down. So I'm like sitting down and this person comes and they like, you know, you feel judged for sitting down.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That's probably just like just a me thing, but
No, I
I probably
totally
know it's
agree with
things you
you.
do.
It's like
It's
the
just
thing of like, I use the disabled toilet every now and then, like, especially if I've got to do
yeah,
something with my pump or whatever. And you just do feel like, I don't know if like it's my fault. Like, sorry, 1 second. I don't know if it's me like worrying about it too much, but you do just feel like people's eyes on you, and you're just like,
yeah,
they're judging me, like, because you do hear so much about people with like disabilities and stuff using a disabled toilet and
yeah,
getting told they shouldn't be using it when actually they've just got an invisible illness, invisible disability or whatever.
yeah, exactly.
So you do
Yeah,
feel very judged. But like, do you know what? I remember when I was pregnant, standing on the bus and like there was no seats at all. I'm like out here pregnant, like on a really long bus journey, and like no one stood up for me. And I just remember being like, it never
it's
used to
so
be like
bad.
this. Yeah. Like it's got
No,
so much worse to like the point where people will see a pregnant woman and won't want to like offer her a seat. Like it's
yeah,
crazy. So, and sometimes I just feel like saying,
like
do you know what? Can I have your seat? I'm really flared up with my
yeah, you're
fibro.
well
Let
within
me
your
sit down.
rights.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like my boyfriend actually told me he was I don't know where he was. I think he was on a train in London. He was standing up and it was really busy and a pregnant woman that walks on.
Yeah.
No one stands up. So he like says to one of them, "Can you stand up? Like she's
Yeah.
pregnant."
Fair
And
enough.
you need more of that.
Yeah.
Like people standing up for
And I don't think
others.
like people aren't willing to stand up for strangers like they used to be, are they? Like
No.
I feel like I'm one of those people, if I see something dodgy going on when I'm out and about, like I'd want to jump in. And like I
Yeah.
don't think people are as willing to do that sort of thing anymore. They're
No.
very much like mind your own business,
Yeah. Yeah,
which is
exactly. Like
terrible.
it is. Yeah, it's really hard.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but
hopefully, I mean, I don't know. I don't see it changing.
no, I don't see. I see things getting worse, if anything. Like the
Yeah.
world is just crazy now. Like, and I think it is harder for people with chronic illness because there's no one will give you any allowances for anything anymore, and that's what we need. Like, we need people to cut us a break at certain times,
Yeah.
and it just doesn't happen.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, but what I think would be a really good idea. So yeah, if people either TikTok me or you, or chuck us an email, Instagram, we'll post it all below. And just share some of your stories. We'd love to get some like viewers' stories out there, and
Yeah. I think that'd be great. That'd
yeah,
be good.
and I
Yeah,
think
to hear other people's perspective. I mean, I
yeah,
even said to my mum, "Would you mind like maybe coming and talking about because I don't know if I said 'cause she had a cortisol
yeah.
deficiency
Oh
and it took
right,
me a
okay,
year to find it out and
yeah,
she was like they thought she had leukemia, they thought she was
wow,
dying, like and she was
yeah,
like, I was really young, I was like 3.
okay,
She
yeah,
was like in and out of
really
hospital and
poorly,
stuff
wow,
and just everyone ignored her and
yeah,
no one could really find it out and that was like one of the first things they tested me for. I mean, how
yeah.
can you not find out
How can
cortisol
you
deficiency?
not? Yeah, and I think that's the most like annoying thing, isn't it? Like I feel like with my fibro, for example, like I diagnosed myself long before the
Yeah.
doctor did, by like sort of process of elimination of like, okay, well, it doesn't fully add up with MS, it doesn't fully add up with this, and this. Fibro seems the most like clear answer, and then saying it to the GP, and then that got them moving in terms of a diagnosis, which obviously with fibro is easier said than done.
You have to
Um,
almost like tell them.
yeah,
So like we actually I didn't know this condition. No one
yeah,
really knows this condition. But my mum, because of her experience, like she was amazing. She just kept going and kept phoning
yeah,
them, just like wouldn't leave them alone
yeah,
and pissed them
until they
off.
came
So
up with an
they
answer.
yeah, and I feel like
Yeah,
my mum and my dad without them, I wouldn't be here.
yeah,
like doing this, being able to like live my life,
talk
sort
about it
of.
and like advocate and
Yeah,
yeah. And I think
it's
like, so next week I think what like one thing that will be really important is like, I think in terms of, I'd love to talk about the symptoms and signs of your condition, the
yeah,
symptoms and signs of my conditions,
yeah,
and then possibly like go through some of the others, just so there's like, I just think it's so important for like signs and symptoms, especially ones that can be so obvious, to be
yeah,
out there and to be known about, just so people can, you know. And if you've got a chronic illness condition that you feel like isn't as well known or isn't talked about as much, like like shoot it over to us, chuck us a message, because
yeah,
obviously we only know like so many, we only suffer with a couple each ourselves, so like, you know, it'd be good to get like the points of view from other people.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I
Yeah,
think definitely talking about like signs and symptoms next week, and like, you
yeah, and
know,
I think
what you
that's a good
should do if
idea.
you experience those sorts of things.
Yeah,
um and you never know, even if it just saves one person, you know, even if it just makes one person go to their GP and advocate for themselves, then we've done our job.
yeah, exactly. Just
Yeah,
yeah, if anyone sees it, it would be good.
yeah, exactly. But anyway, so we have been the Unfiltered Flare,
Yes.
and we're looking forward to carrying on.
Yeah, it was really fun this first one.